Okay. Kyle. Okay. Let's get this finalized and get this loaded up here so we can start our stream officially. So we'll get Pelagos and a lag spike. What is the one we still need? The lag spike. I'll take the heal. Disarm me, I'll take your ability. Ouch. Thirty, 37 phantasm on that entire floor. Okay. Nothing. Well, at least I'll have survivability, right? Not a lot of like phantasma going into this. I mean, it's probably not the least amount I've ever seen. I mean, the 75 is not really going to change much. I would think with the severe amount of phantasma that I'm not getting. Let's go buy the other. Ever seen a lithic watcher before? don't have a lot of like damaging abilities. Not liking this so far. We do not have a lot of damaging abilities. I don't think I've ever seen Stonewing Ravagers either. Well, at least that. We'll go with that because our Berserker Rage right now heals us. So, since we're full of. You're well. Thank you. Thank you for noticing my hoodie, Meg. I think it's a girl's hoodie, by the way. I don't think I've ever fought some of these before, which is odd. Dang, man, I feel like we got a lot less than we would normally. Only 17 anima powers, only 16 spirits. What, man? I don't know. I just put it on. You'd be surprised how that leads to me wearing women's clothing. Even though I've also done it of my own free will too. I was I was cuter in my ex-wife's prom dress than she was. That's what with that. I was a very pretty princess. The funny thing was, so we were at the store. I think it was like Sears or something, and they're over there looking at like ugly, ugly dresses. Her and her mom. I mean, they were ugly, and I'm just kind of meandering around or whatnot, just looking. And I come across one that's on clearance. It was a black, like, fit to wear dress, and it had like a floral design coming up the side of it. It was very cute, very pretty dress. And I pointed out to them, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's perfect!" And it was even like less than what they were looking at. And so they get it, and all of that. So and they were house sitting for a couple that her mom worked with, and she tells her to go try it on. So she's like, "No, I'm nervous." She's like, "I don't think I'll look pretty in it or whatnot." And I was like, "You know what?" I was like, "Let me go try it on." I was like, "If I look good in it," I was like, "You'll definitely look good in it." And I come out in it, and of course, so her mom takes a photo, and it was only my neck down, so from about my Adam's apple down, and and all of that. So they got a good laugh out of that. She of course tried it on. Well, the next day at work, she was showing the dress, and she showed the photo of me wearing it, and everyone in it was like, "Oh my God, your daughter is gorgeous in that." She's like, "Well, that's not my daughter. That's her boyfriend." And it was so funny they couldn't zip up the back because my bust was apparently bigger than my ex-wife's bust, which only made it funnier. But like if you looked at the photo, you never would have thought it was a guy standing there in the dress. That's how perfect my body is. That is how perfect my body is. Okay. Well, even if I would have had a beard, the photo was taken with my neck down anyway. But yeah, that was I was younger. I was more shaven back then. Now I just neglect it. I let it get all grown out left and right. Assuming if I don't break those, he gets out of control. Down, big guy. Down. But I mean, it's not the only time I've ever worn a dress in my life either. I used to let my wife do like makeup and all kinds of stuff, and I get dressed up. She'd do my hair, my face, the whole shebang. We stopped doing that after she said I looked like Boy George. That was a no no. Just gotta have fun with it when you're young. Don't hold back. Do what makes you happy. I was. I'm I'm fucking fabulous, girl. You don't even know. It's 4:20. So Obley doesn't want to go to his graduation? Are they doing it in person or like how what's the reasoning that he doesn't want to go? He just said he won't. So he doesn't. I mean, when does he graduate? I mean, we can just dress him up in a graduation gown and you can take photos of him. Always making Nightbot mad, man. Always, man. That poor little Nightbot. Look how hard he has to work to keep you under control. I mean, besides like the whole ceremony and all that, I mean, graduations are fun for the ceremony, but I mean, there's nothing worse than listening to speeches you don't want to have to listen to and all that crap about how the world is ready to, do whatever and that we as people need to grow and learn every day. Like, it's just like, meh. In high school, we had to prepare graduation speeches, and I actually prepared two. One that basically called everyone in my graduation class a bunch of sheep. And there was nothing worse. It was the worst in the popular kids. They were nothing but a bunch of sheep. And it frustrated the crap out of me every time they talked. Because if a teacher so much said a sit like if a teacher was like, this is what you need to think about this, they're like meh, 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 immediately agreeing. And it was just like, God damn, can't you guys think for yourselves? I have no idea what they're doing now with their lives. Probably still agreeing with random people. But it was so annoying. There's nothing worse than sheeple. Like, at least have like a single thought in your head, yourself. I'd imagine it'd be above us. No, there's a full-fledged tree above us. So I don't think that's a possibility. It should be... Huh. For me, I work at a call center. But that's what I do. I work at a call center. Hopefully one day I can retire from that and just be a variety streamer all the time so I can entertain people like you, Meg, with my shenanigans. And by shenanigans, I mean balls. There we are. What's the game suggestion? What the hell? What the? Yeah, I know it. I'm familiar with Persona 4. I watched Carnage play it. So I am familiar with it, Meg. Hmm. From the looks of it, it's not like it's always guaranteed to be here. Well, I want to get away from streaming a little less WoW. The problem is I always run into anything that I'm going to stream. I can't have it like lagging like massively bad. Do 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 do. Check. Maybe here soon, once we're done with our Terraria playthrough, we'll try. Maybe we can try Stardew Valley or something. I think you'd like that. I know they've added a whole bunch of content to it. But I think that'd be fun to stream. So I think we could have fun with that. And I mean that's not nearly as crazy as like Terraria because you can casually play Stardew. I mean you don't have to do it like all hardcore or nothing where you're trying to get like $1 trillion in the first year or nothing. So you can have some real fun with it. I wonder if this will alert me if they're up. Find out. Let's go check to see if this one's up. According to this, should be right here. See anything? Oh well. I mean, it can run Minecraft. I don't know if I can stream Minecraft. But I mean, we could still play off stream too. That's fine as long as my it's. I mean, I'd like to make it content is the thing. But if we have to play off stream, that's cool too. Well, what was it? Me and Obley were playing that one server or whatnot that he had heavily modded, where he got. I think he was talking to you and some people the one night, and he got drunk and blacked out on me. I asked him a question. He's like, let me think about that, and then all I hear is. I'm like, Obley, are you asleep? And I was like, damn it. I was like, I really wanted to know what the answer to that question was. I was like, I guess we'll wait till tomorrow. But he was so drunk. Like, it was so funny. I don't know how much, like, he had to drink, but, like, or what his tolerance is, but it was funny as hell. He becomes a chatty Cathy when he gets drunk. I'm not going to lie. He's one of those ones where he becomes super talkative. Let me tell you. What are we doing? You gotta talk, girl. You gotta talk. I know we all come in here and we're friends, but you got. Gosh, you're my friends, guys. He's one of those kinds of drunks. And it just, he's like next level. Like, it's like, control yourself, man. I feel like if you gave him like something to play with, like some sort of like rando toy, he'd be like absolutely fascinated by it. Especially if it had like lights and moving parts. I feel like if you got drunk, you'd be one of those toxic drunks that just gets mean. Loud and mean. Not mean on purpose, but like accidentally, like maybe like rude. Where you just say like really rude shit. Poor Nightbot. He does not get the appreciation that he deserves. Go turn our calling. We're probably gonna call it there for the day because it is pushing. It's heading towards 5. I gotta get a little bit more sleep before work tonight. But I feel like you'd make because I mean you already make really snide remarks now when you're sober. I can only imagine that when you're drunk, you definitely don't pull any punches. Yeah, only to me. So I'm glad to know that makes me special, Meg. Glad to know that makes me special. See, you went. That was like a low blow going after my stream, though, man. That was a low blow. It's like insulting people's kids. Ah, no worries. I mean, I can't stay mad at you. I mean, now I'm up to 29 followers on Twitch, 155 last time I checked on YouTube. So I mean, I'm growing. I'm growing. So you can bully me a little bit. Oh my god. Oh, that feels like a good stretch right there. Nothing like a good stretch. I just wish I could like bring over all the other like 120 or whatnot to Twitch and then be able to get like consecutive viewers and stuff like that. I've got a few that regularly come in. Yeah, I stream on both. I think my viewer count doesn't like update because right now it shows like one on Twitch, but I think technically it should be showing me two because of you and Nightbot. But I don't know what the hell is going on with my viewer count on that. Like half the time it doesn't show me anyone on YouTube, but I'll have someone on YouTube chatting with me, and I was like, why don't they count as a viewer? I was like, what the hell? Oh, I know my views are higher on YouTube because I'm like at over 30,000 views. But I'd love to do probably Stardew Valley with you guys. Minecraft would be fun. I gotta think other multiplayer games that would be fun. Yeah, one of my videos is closing in on like 5,000 individual views. As long as it's not something like Ark or stuff like that, because that just takes a lot of time to even get it going and stuff like that, and can become a real nuisance with the taming. And I know you can speed it all up and all that jazz, but it just takes a lot of time to get it up and going. And if someone stops playing, and then it gets less and less fun with each individual that stops playing. Oh, there's a lag spike. Let me think. But I'd love to be able to play like all kinds of different kinds of games with my laptop. But I mean, if I can ever get my build done, if I can get a goddamn graphics card that isn't like potato. I did some Among Us with my children the other day. I mean, we could definitely stream that. I think the main thing is being able to fill up a lobby. Because when it was just me and my two children, we were able to get up to like 7, but I mean, never a full 10, and it never stayed that way. I think like golf with friends, things like that. Games where you can have a lot of fun are always a good idea. I feel like I'd have to prepare my ears though if we played Phasmophobia or whatnot. I feel like you'd be going in and screaming in random locations. I feel like that would be a constant thing. Because I've watched some people play it, and some of the stuff that like happens, like some of it. I mean it's not true like true blue jump scares, but I mean there are some stuff that could probably like make you poo your pants. Do, 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 do. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's other horror genres out there too. I mean, there's the one where the one person gets chosen to be like the killer, and then the other four have to try to escape and stuff like that. I think that could be fun too, with a bunch of friends. anything else I want to do here real quick? If you want, Meg, you can join me in TeamSpeak. Getting on that right now. Because I'm probably going to call the stream here so I can do some other stuff real quickly before I go lay back down and have dreams of dreams of dreams. I wanted to stream for longer, but I wanted to get some sleep this morning because I wasn't sure what my son's new school schedule was going to be because they just started the going back to school thing here in Alaska. And so he's since we weren't going to send him back, especially with a new strain of COVID out there that might be resistant to the vaccine and might also be extra lethal. So they disenrolled him from normal school, so now he's on their virtual school, and so his like school stuff is like all changed now. And the thing that made me laugh about it is he's doing more school like this than he was before. And it's like, well, why the hell is he like? Why was he only doing an hour before when you guys want him to doing more now? I was like, I don't understand your guys' logic here. I was like, this is exactly what I hate about school districts. I was like, how is it you got some students taking 4 hours of school a day, but you guys are doing this, but only doing 1 hour? And I was like, what the hell? I was like, you guys suck. I was like, my son's gonna end up missing out on precious years of his education, and he's gonna end up as a goddamn burger flipper at McDonald's. I'm glad I managed to keep those cue cards on how to make a Big Mac. They'll come in handy, lettuce, tomato, patty. No, that's wrong. See, I've already got them practicing. When your finals are done, is that like done today or like done like a few weeks? Well, I think school would function just fine during these times. Ah, I, I would think it would work better, but I think a lot of the administration just rushed into it as far as like school administrations, and they never really hammered out a lot of the details. So they just kind of left it free floating, thinking that the pandemic would be over sooner than it was, and then they just never circulated back to that and refounded it. Because I'm sorry, an hour a day that's not school. That's not even a training. Like that is long enough to basically get everyone into class and start discussing something and it be done. Like that is not a lot of time. You probably spend more time taking poops a day than you do in that class at that point. Like that just logically does not make sense to me. But logically speaking, you would think that if they were going to school from, I think it was like 9 to 3, so I mean that's like 6 hours. You cut it down to an hour. It's like, really, why can't they do 6 hours remotely? Like I get like at that point distractions become real or whatnot, but let them have their hour lunch. I mean you can still have the rest of the day and stuff like that. But why is it that they can teach them for 6 hours in class but not 6 hours remote? It doesn't make any physical sense to me. It's just like I don't understand. Like back in when I was a kid, I remember having like social studies, English, math, all kinds of stuff. Even in like uh, even before middle school, it wasn't periods, but you had different subjects. Honestly, I've never seen anything besides my children bring home math homework. I've never seen them have social studies, geography, anything else besides math homework and reading. And that's it. But I distinctly remember all kinds of other subjects, especially like science and stuff like that. Never seen any homework for those subjects at all. So it makes it kind of odd to me. I know they really emphasize reading and writing and math these days, but I mean, maybe them knowing like geographically where they are on a map might help too. So that way they're not like in the country of Wisconsin. Okay, so we'll be able to do that, and then we'll probably be able to get this one in too. Maybe even that one. Right? Like I look back on the amount of math that we like covered. Yeah, we covered math, but I mean I didn't have trouble learning it, but I felt like there was a lot more balance of all the subjects. And I mean in geography and like science and history, that stuff can make like a lot of stuff really fun. I mean, yeah, so can reading and stuff like that, but normally the crap they have you read in school is not that fun. What's the subject of this story? Billy went down to the store and bought apples, and while he was at the store, he suddenly felt a rumbling in his tummy and realized he needed to poop. And it's like, the subject is the fact that he needed to poop. And that's just me making a generalization there. But I mean, those aren't like fun stories to read, especially when you have to constantly sit there and analyze them and pick out stuff. But I mean, like history, when you're learning about like ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, China, Japan, there's so much fun facts there. Especially when you like spend the week like doing like all kinds of art stuff and decorating the class for it and all kind of stuff. That's really interesting. Or even in science, where once again you're doing stuff, you're physically getting to see the outcome of what you're doing. Once again, fun. Maybe it requires your class going outside for the day and doing something. Maybe this, that, or whatnot. Lots of fun. Sitting down and doing 200 math problems, not so fun. But that's what it is. I mean, ironically, I learned to read so I could play video games. That's a true story. My brother Jason refused to let me have save files on games because he said you can't have save files on games if you can't read. So guess who learned to read? Didn't like reading. Not until not until second grade when we moved to Hawaii did I really get into reading because I got into Bruce Coville and his novels like My Teacher is an Alien and Alien Ate My Homework, stuff like that. Jeremy Thatcher, Dragon Hatcher. Really love Bruce Coville's works. Really got me into reading. Ironically, by the time I was taking like the cat tests or whatever in seventh grade, the scores were coming back that I was reading at like a sophomore in college's reading level. It's probably why I end up now like analyzing things that people can't even see in some stuff. And fun fact, real quickly here, this person right here, transgender, transgender. Fun fact. Well, I either know how to read or I know how to pretend to read. But oh man, I should probably call it for the day. If not, I'm gonna sit here and run around in Bastion forever and a day, just chatting your ear off. Yep. No, no, really. That this person, and I found this out yesterday. So if I come here and talk to him, right? So I ask about, do you remember your past life? Da 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 da. Doesn't remember. Still doesn't quite. And then it's this part right here that proves it. So I appreciate You're listening. Truly, as a soulbind, I can trust you. Pelagos takes a deep breath, then exhales slowly. I had a female form in life. I don't recall my former name or even my race, but I never felt like my physical form represented who I was inside. It never felt as clear to me than as it does now. I struggled with my identity for my entire life. Didn't know that until I read that. And then, of course, gestures to himself this male form and the fact they felt comfortable and excited. So, fun fact right there, Pelagos is transgender. Didn't know that until I clicked on it the other day and read through it. I was like, oh man, I can talk to Pelagos? I was like, what's he got to say? And I read that and I was like, interesting fact that I was not aware of. A little bit of interesting storyline there. I mean, it's not the first time that there's been like transgender characters in games, but it was interesting to find that out. But I am going to go ahead and I'm going to call it here for the day. You're always welcome to message me, Meg, and come and join the channel and chat me up and all that. Always happy to. I'll probably be on earlier tomorrow streaming though, because with my son's new school stuff and all that, he starts at like 11:15. Um, so I'm probably going to start doing, and he's got another thing, and he's got other works that he's got to do on the computer. So I'll probably start um, continually streaming more often in the morning than in the afternoons, just to make sure that I can manage to stream. If not, I think I'm going to run into situations where I'm not going to be able to, and I want to make sure to do that, and also be able to his school and all that jazz. Don't want to overlap too much at one time, especially since he gets super frustrated about school, which I don't understand why. I mean, I think what gets him frustrated is the fact that he isn't interested in school. Don't get me wrong; he's smart, but he doesn't find it interesting to him, and I think that's where it hinders him. Because like he does all kinds of computer coding on like Roblox, designing stuff on Roblox, all kinds of stuff. I mean, he'll tell you everything about the Titanic. He'll tell you about space and all kinds of stuff that he reads. And but when it comes to like subjects in school, he hates the hell out of them. Yeah, I'm here, Core. What's up? What's up, Core? So, fun fact I found out yesterday. I think I already told you that Pelagos is transgender. I should make a video on that. I really should, because I haven't seen anything like that anywhere before. But I guess you got to be careful about doing that, because then it could come off that you're doing it to like. You'd have to be very careful how you phrase everything. I think too. It's a risky subject because you got to be careful that you offend somebody. I was about to call it for the day. Sitting here talking to Meg in my chat. We were laughing about how Obley gets drunk and turns into a chatty Cathy. There you go. Now you can be a tank and just infinite heal and pull the most heals in battlegrounds and shit and be like unkillable. I wonder what would happen on a threes team if you just ran into three pally tanks. Like that'd be the worst. That would go on indefinitely. So I did the mission board this morning, right? The Covenant table, and it was accurate. Everything played out just the way that it told me it would. So I'll probably do the video on that tomorrow. I meant to do it this morning, but I was really tired for some reason. So I'll probably do that tomorrow. But it was accurate. All it was 3 for 3. I've got three more in that they're telling me I'm gonna win. I just think it's odd that like it just arranges them in weird ways. Like I would never think to arrange my team like that. Meg says hi, by the way, Core. But no, I agree, Meg. Things I didn't like when I was in like high school, for example, is I took all AP classes for the advanced placement stuff. But then you've got people that I mean that were like pottery and all those like shenanigan classes that are pulling like you know I mean they're getting the same GPA as me, but obviously mine should have carried a little bit more weight than people that are like just taking a bunch of like elective classes. But like just absolute nonsense. I wish they would redo the whole AP system anyway. Because the raw fact that you took a year of that class, it was taught to you as an AP, and then you have to take this test, and that's what awards you your college credits. So if it asks questions in a way that you're not familiar with or something like that, it could screw you out of an entire year's worth of work. And I get that it wasn't college, but you were taught as if it was a college course. So you should still get credit. If you had a passing grade in the class, my honest opinion is you should get college credit. There should not be this test that you have to go pay money for suddenly and to get credit. I don't agree with that system. AP stands for Advanced Placement. So basically, you take an AP class in high school, and it counts as college credits when you pass the test at the end of the year. So you have to go to a place that does the testing, and you have to take this like 6-hour test. It's dreadful, but it awards you with college credits and shit like that. My senior year, I took 5 AP classes. I spent 3 weeks at the testing facility to get it all done. It sucked so bad. Like, and the fact that my classes still continued on like normal. So I came back and I had to play catch up in all my classes. It super sucked. Especially my AP calculus class. Missing 3 freaking weeks. Because I had AP Econ, AP US History, AP Calculus, AP Econ, and I feel like I'm missing one. Calculus and Government, AP Government. I mean, the classes themselves aren't bad. It's the testing. In all, I don't agree with the test format. If I put in the year's worth of work and let's say I pulled a B in the class, but then I don't meet their standard on the test, I basically wasted a year of my life. All that grade is basically a grade on my high school report card. That's it. It will never amount to more than that. And that's not fair. Where if the same, and I get that in college, they're like, oh man, the test weights are 90% of your grade. The rest of it doesn't matter. So as long as I don't care if you're here, but as long as you show up and take the test and pass, you pass my class. I don't agree with that system either. Because if you just have one bad day on a test, you could be boned for the rest of the class. At that point, you might as well drop out and just redo it next semester. And I honestly feel like that's a system to kind of grab more money than what they deserve. So that way they can catch people who can potentially fail and then have to pay to take the class a second time. I just don't agree with that system. I don't. That's like, what was it, my chemistry class in my. Was that my. Yeah, that was my sophomore year of high school. And the teacher tried to teach it like a college class in there, so she had a bell curve and all that. Well, the problem is when you got one kid who's getting nothing but 100% on the tests, which was me, and she always did the test. She'd teach stuff in class, but she did the tests out of the stuff in the actual textbook. I was the only one that read the textbook. So I was ruining the bell curve, which was causing people to get way lower grades than they should, all because of the bell curve system. I mean, it would all it did was make it normal, but it made me laugh because we'd be doing the tests, and everyone in class would be like, "This is nowhere on anything that she's taught us. It's not in the notes, nothing." I was like, "It's in the textbook." I was like, "Everything on the test is in the textbook." They're like, "Wait, really?" She's like, "She's never had us read the textbook." I was like, "Exactly." I was like, "It's one of those things that you should just do." She was a nut. There was one chemistry experiment that we were doing, and we had to measure, I think, the amount of gas that was coming out of solution or whatnot. And so there was a test tube, so a little test tube, and it had, of course, the cork stopper and a cord running through it into a water bath. And you had the cord was going up into a glass jar, and you had to measure the displacement of the water or whatever. And one of the kids asks her if the water should be backing up through the tube, and she's like, "Oh yeah, 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 that will happen." And she starts walking away, and the damn test tube explodes, and the cork shoots out and hits her right in the back, and all like the stuff that we were using or whatnot, it's all burnt and it's just going across the floor and up her back. It was so funny because it clearly was not supposed to be backing up at all, and it just exploded. There were Oh my god, it was so funny. And there was another time, me and my lab partner, we were doing the Bunsen burners for the first time, and she's walking around making sure everyone's doing it right, and we were doing it right, so it had the blue flame already, and it was all set up. And she's like, "I don't think yours is on." So she tilts it towards my lab partner and starts cranking up the thing, and and of course behind him is all the shelvings. It's your standard like lab, and he's like pinned in the corner here, and she's just pointing the flame on it and extending it, and he's just leaning back, and it's like licking his chest, and he's like, "Oh my god." And it was like a what the hell is she thinking? And it was so odd. He's like sweating bullets because she's about to light him on fire. And it was just one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god. It was worth it. Oh my god, she probably shouldn't be left alone with any kind of like experiment. There was a and then yet another time. So you know what happens when like potassium, like actual pure potassium hits water, right? So what happens when you throw potassium in water is it ignites. It lights on fire. And it has a very volatile reaction with water. And so she's showing us this. So she does. Oh yes, it goes straight up combustible. Like, and so she's showing us she does some other elements or whatnot that have a similar reaction, just on a smaller scale. So then she gets to the potassium. She cuts off a little piece of it. I mean, it was a chunk, but she goes to chuck it in the water, and she chucks it and then pushes the cart that had the stuff on it like right into the student's face, and it just and it's like, what is wrong with this lady and safety? Like, Jesus Christ. But it was another one of those moments where you're just like, what the hell, lady? Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah, I just went and completed my second tour gas. It wasn't too bad. The floors were really short since I had to do the upper, whatchamacallit, the upper one. The only, the other one sucks though. Cold-hearted Stygia or whatever, Stichia. Yeah, she was something else. I don't know whatever happened in other classes or whatnot, but she was she was a nut. She was a nut. Let's see. I'm trying to think what other stuff. And I loved my physics class. That guy, he was awesome. He we did a catapult or whatnot, and my team For whatever reason, instead of building your standard catapult, we built like a 20-foot tall trebuchet, and we launched a water balloon over 100 yards. And when it hit the ground, it actually left a crater. It was worth it. It was worth it. Nothing like we actually had to wrap the water balloon in a towel as well, and even when it would, so that way the initial force wouldn't pop it, and it would throw it in this water balloon, of course, like this, so it would extend out, and it would become like this long hot dog looking thing, and it would just fly through the air. But it was a beast, dude. We built it on a trailer hitch, and so I mean it was this beast. And he looked at us and he's like, really, guys, no one ever has done another one to that scale. We also got to throw a pumpkin. Someone brought in like a little tiny pumpkin that they lobbed like 30 feet. We chucked that thing and it went off into the woods. We never found the distance that it went. Honestly, I hope it didn't go too far because there was a middle school on the other side of that forest. Well, I know Biz doesn't like to run. No, it was Halsey, I think, that doesn't like to run it as a Ret Pally. He says that they can't do Torghast. Yeah, that one was a lot of fun. I love science classes, man. As long as you're doing fun experiments, they're a ton of fun. And then what was it for my physics teacher? I was his TA as well in my senior year, and I had to build a Jacob's ladder, which is basically where you've got the electricity running to it, and it like climbs up it, and it does the spark up. And he did a sheet of paper in it, and you could see where it was like burning the sheet of paper and stuff like that. And you looked, and it had very tiny, tiny holes in it. And he basically explained that when you take an electrical current, that's ultimately what kills you right there, is it burns holes in your lungs and heart. But it was a lot of fun. He was a good guy. Messed up on one of my equations for when we did a bungee thing. I added in a wrong value. I had it right the first time, but when I redid the math, I messed up on it the second time. So I ended up dropping my Barbie doll to her head. So if that would have been a real person, you wouldn't want to take my bungee jumping course because your head would smash into the ground. But yeah, but thank you so much for coming, Meg. I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. Anybody else watching, I appreciate it. Thanks for my stories. I got lots of them. But go ahead and hit that follow button if you haven't already. Subscribe, do what you need to, whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch. I appreciate it. I gotta go get some sleep before work. But thank you so much for coming, and as always, have a good day and stay safe. Goodbye, Miss Meg. You have a good one. I appreciate it.